Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is part 12. If you have not listened to part 1 through 11, please scroll up or down to find it so that this part of my life story will make sense to you. This is my truth, my content on my life, not anybody else's opinion, not what anybody else's truth is about. This is my truth of what I lived. Okay, for my last part 11, we talked about how now I'm working downtown Baltimore. And as I'm working downtown Baltimore, my my children's fathers agree we're gonna swap. That means my kids are gonna live with their fathers, and I'll be working during the week and pick them up on the Saturdays. So everything kind of changed a little bit, but it still was similar, the same. I still had to do the same scenario. I just didn't have to take them to the babysitter anymore. Um, so as I told you, as I was working down Baltimore, I met a new guy named Raymond. But before I get into Raymond, I want to talk about my daughter a little bit because she was really upset about moving with her father. And even though she knew that's what she had to do, she gave me the blues. Yes, she did. There were times I'd be working and I get a call at my job from Alina's father saying Alina has ran away. And I'm like, ran away? He like, yeah, cause she gets upset. She don't want to be there, and she's 13 years old now. Literally, pretty much had periods like a grown woman. So she's getting into her own little personality, and I guess she just didn't want to be there. She was used to being with me, having her own room and doing what doing her. I said she ran away. I said, oh my God, I work down Baltimore, and you over there in Mitchellville towards Wardolph. And I'm like, you're in Waldorf, so it's like, oh my God, that's like an hour and a half drive from my job. See, I could cut that 30 minutes out if I was at home. I'm at work. He's like, well, I'm just letting you know she ran away and we trying to look for her. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go tell my boss. I'm on my way. So I told my boss and he was like, all right, go ahead and do what you got to do. And I left. It took me an hour and a half to get there. This is like, what? It was late at night. But anyway, when I got there, by that time they found Alina. And when I came in the house, I said, Alina, what's wrong? She's crying. She doesn't want to be there. And I had to sit down with her father and I said, Alina, I work at night now. I said, if I leave you at home, you're going to be by yourself. She was like, I don't care. I don't want to be. I said, Lena, you cannot be without an adult around. You cannot stay in the house by yourself. She said, but I'm not used to being here. I don't want to be here. And plus, she was telling me about his girlfriend yells at her all the time, right? And and her father sitting there like, what? And I said, well, is that what's happening? I said, by her living here and just coming here, you guys should be giving her warm welcomes. Give her warm welcomes. You're going to have to treat her with a little comfort zone right now because she's not used to being here. It's like taking somebody out their house and putting them into another home that they don't know about. It's going to take her time to get used to being here. So she needs to be treated maybe a little bit on the special side. And I hate to say it. And he was like, I'll talk to my girlfriend or whatever and see. And Alina was like, yeah, because I'm tired of her making me do stuff and I don't want to do it. And Alina was just going, she just wasn't having it. And I said, Alina, please, can you please stay here? I have to work. Don't you want all the things that you always had? She was like, yes. I said, okay, but you got to stay. This is your father. This is not like a stranger. This is your father. So she kind of, got with it together, gave me a hug, and I left. So I said about a month later, it happened again. She running away. I gotta leave my job, go back out there again. This happened about maybe, I say within a year, maybe 3 times. But the very last time I came out there, I had to be really firm with her. And I said, Alina, I'm not gonna keep coming out here, leaving my job. You're gonna make me lose my job. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I promise I will get you on the weekends. But you have to learn that this is where you live now. So I told her there's not gonna be any more running away. I said, where are you gonna go? If you're wondering what you gonna do, you don't work. What are you gonna do? So she was looking at me and like, I'm sorry. I said, so what's the problem now? Are you having a problem with somebody now? She said, no, I don't want to be here. I said, I know you don't, Lena, but I need you to do this for me. Can you do this for me? And she said yes and gave me a hug and held on to me for a long time, like she didn't want to let me go. And I said, if you do this for me, I promise I'll make all this up to you. I promise. I'm not throwing you away. It's not that. I have to work. That's the only way you can live. I have to work. I said, but this is your father. Look at your grandmother. You look just like her. You both are twins. So she was like, yeah. And I'm like, you're getting ready to turn 14, 15. You're going into high school. Don't you want to, what is it? You miss your friends from Laurel? She said, no. I just wanted to see you. I said, you can see me anytime you want. Can you just let me work, please? And she agreed. And it never happened anymore. She got used to living there. I would continue to come get her on Saturdays, and we go out and have a great time. So now we're back to me working downtown Baltimore throughout the week, Monday to Friday, because that's pretty much, I'm by myself. I got used to that. Greg, he'll call me sometimes. But I got to the point, if this is going to be a sometime thing, then I'll call you sometimes too. I'm not going to be sitting up here making somebody do something they don't want to do. But I still loved him. I still had love for him. But it was like, look, I'm just going on with my life. I mean, I really am. And plus, I had a lot of stuff on my plate. I had to maintain, trying to maintain. So I never forget this particular day. One of my coworkers that would go outside for lunch break. We would go outside, sit on a little stoop at the corporate office outside, and just watch the nice men go into the courthouse because they were going there with suits. We knew they were lawyers and stuff like that, and we'd just watch them, walk while we just sitting on the stoop smoking our cigarette, taking our break. This was during the day hours. Now I came in like around 4 maybe, get ready to start my shift. So I had a little bit of time to see what was going on during the day. Um, this particular time, I'll never forget. I was sitting on the stoop and I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I just seen this man walk past, and he had on his cologne that like whipped past my nose, and I'm like, "Ooh, he smelled good." And as I was looking, I'm like, "Oh my God, he is so fine." So I noticed he went into the Bank of America, into the where we work at. He went to the double doors, and I'm like, "Who is that?" This Janet. She was like, girl, that ain't nothing but Raymond. I said, where he work at? She said, girl, he the manager for the mailroom. They work down in the basement, the mailroom down there on the bottom floor. I said, oh, I didn't know that. To make a long story short, I seen him again, and this time I like froze up, and I was just outside by myself, and I froze up, and he looked at me, he said, hey, how you doing, or whatever. And I said, I'm fine. And he just went into the building. I'm just looking like, Lord, this man is so handsome. It just something just came over me. But anyway, I left it alone, and I went upstairs and I told Jenna. I said, "Girl, that man Raymond you told me about." I said, "Is he married?" She said, "I don't believe so." I said, "Oh, okay. I just wanted to know." So I went and did my work, and this was like maybe a week later. She came and got me early for break, and I was like, "It ain't time yet." She said, "Girl, break that break, girl. Come on with me." And I remember going with her on the elevator. And she was like, we going to the bottom floor. I said, what is down here? She said, girl, just come on. So I waited on the elevator holding the door with my foot. And she was like, stay right there. I want to go see something real quick. I'll be right back. And she came right back. She said, come here, come on. I'm like, what? She said, come here. And we was walking. It looked like a little dungeon, but it was the mail room. And we was going down a little hall. And she was like, girl, go in this door right here. And I'll be right back. I walked in the door and who I see sitting at the desk, Raymond. I almost wanted to pass out. I wanted to choke Janet. I'm like, did she just bring me down here? And he was like, hi, I heard your name is Bridget. And I always see you all the time. I said, hi. I mean, I got so nervous. I wanted to, kill her. He said, I was talking to Janet. You know, I've been knowing her for a long time. And I was telling her I wanted to get to meet you. And she was telling me that you were asking about me. I said, yeah, I was asking about you because I just like your cologne. And I was so nervous. And he was like, look, I know you got to go back to work, but can you give me a call? He gave me his card and told me he was the manager for the mailroom. I said, really? I said, this is nice. I said, so I'm taking your call. You want me to call you? What is the call for? He said, because I like to take you out. I said, okay, like a little girl. And I said, but I got to get back to work. So, when I went back upstairs on the fifth floor, I went and found her and was like, girl, she's dying laughing. I said, why you do that? She was like, well, how else y'all both gonna meet each other? He asked me about you and you asked me about him. I mean, what I supposed to do? I was like, oh my God. So that's what started with Raymond. So I never forget, me and Raymond started dating. This was like a month in. Now with Greg, yes, I still love Greg. I never told Raymond about Greg. I just never did. It was no need. I felt we was broken up. Now I'm dating a new man, and this man was like all about me. He would take me. Oh my God, we would go to the ultimate places. And this particular day, he said, "I want to take you somewhere you want to go. Where do you want to go?" I said, "Well, I love the museums. I would really love to go downtown DC and see the museums. I did it when I was a kid, but I want to see them again. I love it." And I felt that would be a great date. He said, "So when do you want to go?" I said, "Let's go in about 2 more weeks, 2 Saturdays from now." He said, "Okay." I said, "Because my kids are going out of town, so I won't even have to pick them up that Saturday." I said, "So we can do it that Saturday." So to make a long story short, I never forget that weekend came, and I was looking out my window, and I just kept seeing this like unmarked car, but it was blue. It wasn't black. It's like PG County. A lot of us go get our windows tinted, and you're not supposed to have your windows so black where the police officers can't see in it. So I was like, somebody gonna get a ticket because they don't play this out here in this. Your tag's dead. You doing the wrong thing. My property manager, she be looking at everything. But I'm noticing this car just parked out there, but you can't see somebody's in it or anything. But anyway, Raymond came and picked me up, and he was like, "You ready to go?" I was like, "Yes." I said, "I'm so excited." He was just so nice. This Raymond is such a gentleman. He would do anything for me. I had learned he would do anything for me, but I wasn't in love with him. He was just my friend, somebody I'm just dating. So I just noticed the vehicle, that was sitting in the parking lot. I got in his car. We went on about our business, and he took me downtown. He took me to this nice restaurant. I don't remember the name, but it was so nice. And I remember the waitress came up, and we were gonna get our drinks, and she asked me what did I want. I said I wanted a sex on the beach because I love that drink. And she was like, "Okay, I need to see your ID." And I gave her my ID, and she said, "Oh, happy birthday." I said, "Well, thank you." She said, "Happy birthday. We can have specialties for birthday people." I said, "Really?" She was like, "Yes." And Raymond sitting there looking at me like, it's your birthday?" I said, "Yes, it's my birthday." So he was like, "Let me see the ID." And he looked at my ID. He was like, "Bridget, why you didn't tell me it's your birthday?" I said, "Because I didn't want you to think that you were taking me out for my birthday. You asked me when did I want to go out, and I wanted to go out this Saturday." So he's sitting at the table like, girl, why you ain't tell me today was your birthday? I could have did so much more. I said no, because it's not about that. I wanted you to take me out because you wanted to. I didn't want you to take me out because it was my birthday. So he was all like, oh my God. But we had a nice time, very nice time. And he took me home. And when I got home, I just noticed that blue, unmarked, dark tinted windows car wasn't there. But it pulled up when I was getting out the vehicle and just literally just parked like maybe four parking spaces down. And man, Raymond was sitting in the car just like talking as I'm getting out of the car. And when I noticed it, I said, hold up a second. I said, let me get back in. I said, I just want to tell you I had a good time. But I was just saying that just to buy time. I want to see what this blue car, my car, gonna do. And he was like, I did too, Bridget. So can I see you again and stuff like that? I said, anytime you want to. And he's like, really? He was like, you know what? You know I live right maybe 5 miles from my job. You know you can come over there. You ain't gotta come back here all the time. I said, I know, but this is where I live at. And I said, but I'm gonna take you up on that offer because I might not want to come into PG County anyway. He was like, all right. So I just know the car was just still sitting there. Nobody would get out. No, you know, normally when people pull up in front of the buildings, they get out and go in the building. No, the car was just sitting there running. Nobody got out. So I got out and I said, bye, Raymond. And I went in my place. You know, I went my little town. I just got going and whatever. So make a long story short, we're gonna move this along because Raymond, I mean, he's a wonderful guy. He's done a lot for me in my life. I just couldn't see his love because I was still in love with someone else. I was still in love with Greg, so I never got to see it. I'm sorry, Raymond, if you ever hear my life story, that's what it was. My love and my mind was somewhere else. You're a wonderful, wonderful person. And never forget that. It was me, not you. But anyway, we're gonna move along because at this time I'm like, look, Andre's starting to call me again. I ain't heard from this man in a minute. And I'm like, let me go ahead and answer this phone. Me and Andre needed really to chat it out. So I asked the phone. Andre was like, Bridget. I was like, yeah. He said, what's wrong? What did I do? I said, you didn't do anything. I just went on with my life. He said, but why you couldn't just call and tell me that? I said, Andre, to be honest with you, I really didn't know how to tell you. He said, well, I still work. I said, I know, but I'm really seeing someone else. I just had to let it go because I've been holding this in for so many years, and I'm like, I thought he would just get the point by me not calling him, but obviously he's not. So I just had to tell him, and he said, if you ever need me, let me know. And I said, I really appreciate that, Andre. And we hung up, and I just never called him again because I had to let that go. Me and Thomas was clear about being friends. Andre had to let go. That state trooper Tim, I went through that. Then now I have George. I'm still talking to him a little bit, and I'm like, I gotta do. I love Greg, and I see what he's kind of doing. I believe he's just like watching me to see what I'm about before he do anything. So I was just like, look, I'm cleaning up house. God been telling me for years to clean up. And I just keep accepting another person. And Raymond is such a great guy. He really is. So that being said, I continue to date Raymond because I enjoy going out to nice places. And I didn't have to wait like I had to wait with the police officers. With him, I can go whenever I want it. So, and not just that, I used to stay with him in his house so I didn't have to go to PG County sometimes. So we're gonna come back because I got a little more stalking. I almost got ran off the road on 295 at night going back to PG County from work. So we're gonna stop right here. This is part 12. Yes, and we're gonna come back with part 13 shortly. Bye.